Hello, and welcome to the Playthrough Man channel. I'm Rick. I'm going to be taking you through SnowRunner, as you can see right straight down there. SnowRunner is basically a game where you drive forever and pick up various contracts, tasks along the way, and that's basically the gist of it. I started this series a little while ago, but unfortunately I ran out of time for all intents and purposes, and I got kind of, well, I tend to move. I tend to do things for a minute and then I'm off. I take off. So that's kind of what I did on this last series. So I don't even know where I left off. And there's been new content added through the DLC process, and I don't know where I left off. So we're gonna restart this thing. Let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. Alright, let's make sure we have game music going this time. I spent 45 minutes recording and realized that, let's kill this other music here. There we go. Realized that I spent 45 minutes and didn't have any game sounds whatsoever. So just a quick look up top, make sure it's all where I want it to be. And it is. Alright. So again, if you saw the first one, or if you're familiar with this, up to this point, anyway, the intro, this is our Chevy CK-1500. It's not the greatest truck in the world, but it will get things started for us. So I will move my hands out of the way. As you can see, my hands are here. I have the green light through here, but because I have a green cloth, okay, blocking my table, and I have the green light lit, I don't get any of that weird shadow on the green screen effect that I have going. So, and then of course we have this camera here. So as things show up across this area, I'll move my hands out of the way and point to general things, or do this. There we go. There we are. Not the greatest at it, but whatever. These windows, as you can see in the wow, actually right above my head there, these windows are going to continue to show up, and there's just not a lot I can do about that. This is the tutorial section of the game. We'll just blow through those. I'll end up talking about them anyway. Taking a nap in the truck is our good buddy Chuck. I call him Chuck because I can't think of anything else to call him, but we'll go ahead and get him woke up and ready to make a move. We're going to turn on our all-wheel drive by hitting our R1 and the square button. Start our engine by hitting the trigger, and off we go. When you're on dirt or mud, you want to make sure that your all-wheel drive is on. Some vehicles, it's always on. Other vehicles, you have to manually turn it on. And it's telling you at the top to shift into low gear. You want to use your L1 button and the right stick to shift into any of the gears that are available to you. We're not going to worry about that. You'll find that rarely do you need to really shift into low gear, at least in the beginning. Once we get a better transmission gearbox, then we might be shifting gears, but at this first stage we're not going to shift really at all. All-wheel drive is enough to take care of anything that we're going to run into. All-wheel drive and momentum, I should say. So once we're on asphalt, we'll get rid of the all-wheel drive, and we'll make our way up to our little yellow diamond there with the magnifying glass. Now, in the first series, I blew through these barricades, and this series we're not going to, for at least this run anyway. We'll dive on in here, turn our all-wheel drive on. That'll get us through that thick mud. We'll be able to blow through this little stream. Michigan was devastated in some flooding, and that's why you see these dirt areas are just completely saturated, if not overflowing. Roads have been washed out, things along those lines. Our job is to try to get things set up so that the repair folks can come in and do what they need to do to get this area resituated. When you're in a fuel area, just wait until you see the square. You can... the yellow square on the floor is what I was talking about. On the ground is what I meant. You can do two things. You can either tap the X to just get the fuel listed at 2 gallons, or you can hold to do a complete refill. Okay, we're just going to tap it because we only have 2 gallons. And honestly, to do what we need to do for this run, you didn't need to refuel at all. But it's a good habit to be in anytime you're near a gas station to go ahead and fuel up. Now, I'm going to use fuel, gas, diesel, all interchangeably. I know that there is a huge difference between gasoline and diesel. And fuel is the generic, gasoline and diesel being the specific terms for those things. But I'll use them interchangeably. It's just something I do. We've opened our watchtower. Let's go ahead and we've also apparently located an upgrade, which is good. I guess depending on the vehicle it's for. Let's take a look at our observation. Incidentally, when I started, I had a full 32 ounce cup. I'll give you an idea of how this has gone this morning. It's just life. It's just life. You know, you run into these things and you can get really bothered by it, or you can just plow on. I chose to plow on. We're gonna head over. We're gonna pick up a GMC. Come on, Chuck. There we go. That might have been a point where I considered shifting, but he got out of it. Okay. But we're gonna pick up a GMC. It doesn't have all-wheel drive. It doesn't have diff lock. It doesn't have anything special. But it's part of the tutorial, and we're going to have to use it. So we're driving our way over to that. This is the lumber mill. We'll be spending a lot of time there. And as we whip around through this mess, you'll see that our GMC is patiently waiting for our arrival. I'm going to try not to take anything out as I blow through here. Rather impatiently. Alright. So, we are going to change trucks. Now, to do that, you push up on your D-pad, and then you come down to stop engine to kill the engine that you're in. Otherwise, it will continue to run, and eventually you're going to run out of fuel. That's a big pain in the back. This hat makes it look like my head is getting cut off on the top, but it's not. Sorry. We're going to change over to the GMC. And now that we're in, we're going to pick up a contract. Now, to do that, you're going to hit your touchpad here. Now, off to... Oh, wrong way. Over here are all of our options, okay? L1 is the main map, and you have everything that you see here. These are our contracts and tasks. Now, contracts and tasks are ways that you advance through the game. You gain money and you gain stars. Stars are XP. Okay? We're going to go pick up in the Steel River Township section of contracts. We're going to pick up Old Bridge Reconstruction. You're going to activate that by hitting your D-pad to the right. And what that will do is change the map view so you can see what you need to do. Right now, we are at this area here. We need to come to the, well, actually, first off, we need to go across the way to the lumber mill. We're going to grab that little sideboard trailer there. We're going to come over to the town storage. We're going to pick up some steel beams, metal beams. Then we're going to drive all the way down to here, and we're going to construct this bridge for them. That will allow us to get to this area right here, which is our garage. And as you can see, there are other watchtowers along the way, and they'll reveal different areas of the map. You don't have to go to those, but it helps. Okay. At some point, we're going to come after this upgrade, as well as one that's buried here, and a scout vehicle. All that good stuff. Okay. But for now, let's go ahead and focus on the old bridge reconstruction. We'll get all the way out by hitting our circle. Get rid of that silly thing. Now that our contract is active, let's get the GMC rolling. taking off the parking brake by hitting the R1, and I'm zooming in or out with the left stick. Okay. I'll try to keep my hands in a position where they're visible. Every now and again I may get lazy and see my hands slide out, so I'll just apologize for that right now. Eventually I'll catch it. Now we have two options. If you drive into this area, this cargo area, you can choose to have the wooden planks that we need loaded, or if you have a crane on your truck, you can have them load onto that red area, and then you use the crane to load them in the back of your truck. We're going to do neither of those options because we have that little trailer right there all ready to go for us. It's just a matter of getting the truck through this nasty mess to be able to connect to that trailer. Again, with this truck not having any bells or whistles, really its only option is to go as far as it can, and that's generally about the end of it. And then we will use our winch. Now we're going to push up on the D-pad, choose attach winch. Those little white dots you see are areas that you can connect from. So we'll go to the back, and X to choose it, and then the other white dots show up. That's the areas you can connect to. We're going to tie into that trailer and just drag it to us. You can drive with the trailer attached via the winch, but then you can't winch if you get stuck. So we're just going to drag the trailer up to where it needs to be in terms of our connection point, and that's generally as far as it will go. Oops. There we are. Now, since we are stuck in the mud, we're going to, again, see where we can winch to. We're going to choose that position there. Our green circle indicates where our winch will attach, and anything within the green circle that is an option will show up with a dot on it. As you can see, the most ideal post, or the most ideal connection point, is that telephone pole to the, I guess that's 1 o'clock position, but unfortunately we're not in that zone. So we're going to actually change the winch position to the trailer. We're going to connect to this pole right here. Phone's going nuts today. What that will allow us to do is the winch will pull the trailer, which, because we're connected, it will then push the truck. We'll give it some beans, get the truck mobile again out of that muck, and once we're in a position where we're golden, we will simply circle to detach the winch, release the winch, and now we are on our way. We're going to load the metal beams into the bed of our truck, and those are all the things that we need to get this bridge constructed. Luckily, the town is connected via this road here. The game physics, they're weird, to say the least, okay? I'm going to try to drive so that you get different angles on the terrain and different angles of the vehicles, but don't be shocked if I instantly whip to a forward view, because I'm heading into an area where things are going to get nasty, okay? And I need to have that concentration up front, but in areas like this where there's not a whole lot to really worry about, I can pretty much drive in any camera angle that I like. Now, camera angles are controlled by your right stick. Steering is controlled by your left stick. And just like any other game, R2 is your accelerator, L2 is reverse, and if you want to brake, just simply hit the opposite direction that you're going. Okay? So if you have your finger pressed down firmly on the R2 and you want to stop, L2 applies the brake. If you're backing up and you want to go forward, same option. Now, worst case scenario, you're in a position where things are going a little haywire on you. it's never a bad idea to reach up and hit that parking brake as well as applying the brake. Okay? Sometimes things get a little rolly. Just up ahead, you'll see that diamond with the up arrow on it. That is indicating that we are at an area where we can upload cargo. Sorry, like I said, my phone's going absolutely nuts today. Oh, little kiss on the side of that truck or that vehicle. No damage, so we're good. Same option applies here. If you have a crane, you can use the red to load the cargo into the back of your truck. We do not. So now we're just going to go ahead and auto-load these metal beams. I'm pretty sure the only thing you can get in this area is metal beams. Other areas we get into will allow us to load brick, service parts, things like that. Some are limited, as this section is. So now we can travel back through the town. Our fuel consumption on this is not bad at all, at like roughly 1.8, 1.9, 2 gallons a minute. It's got a fairly large tank at 64 gallons. So we have plenty of fuel to be able to get into the bridge and then get to the next area, which is go to the garage. First things first, though, we need to get the cargo to the bridge. So, as I say, we're good on fuel. We're not going to worry about stopping in there. It's the same premise no matter what vehicle you have. And you'll find that a lot of the generic settings like these here, are the same no matter what truck you have. Now, if you're going to get into a scenario where, let's say I got stuck in there and I needed to winch, but I don't want to go through this step, you can quick winch, meaning you hit your triangle and connect to anything that is an option for you, and then you simply hold the triangle so that it drags you by the winch and everything's good to go. Blow through our barriers. Those will suddenly show back up. I don't know how. Game magic. And coming up is our turn for the bridge. This is where we started. I think that's where Chuck lives. I don't know for sure. I work under that premise. So if I say Chuck's house, that's what I'm talking about. That area through there. Alright. As long as your truck is in the yellow box, you want to make sure you hit your parking brake, otherwise it'll start rolling on you. So parking brake on, we're going to go into cargo management, and as long as your truck is inside that square, it will not only take care of the bed of the truck, but it will take care of whatever's in the trailer as well. Let's unload our beams. And with the beams done, we can go ahead and unload our wooden planks. 1 and 2. And we got promoted. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. 350 stars, 350 XP, $2,100. Gets us on our way. And all this stuff is just telling us that we're good to go to the next section. So we're going to go find the garage, which is just up the road a bit. This big old rock loves to jump in the way of my trucks, causes damage. Just missed it. Up this road is a task that we'll take care of in a little while. It's a down power line. We have to access it from this side. If we try to access it from the other side, we'll have to drive through trees, and vehicles tend to get really stuck between trees in the heavily wooded areas. So we're going to stay out of that. We're going to come down and take care of that in one fell swoop. This road will take us to a watchtower. It's a little, very little, easier way than taking a straight-on shot, which I'll show you here in a moment. We're going to get a little bogged down here, but not enough to worry about using a trailer, or not a trailer, a winch. Well, maybe. Oh boy. Alright, so let's shift into low and see if we can get any kind of traction that way. Oh, ugly. Very ugly. Alright, so we'll go back to our winch options. We will connect to the back of the truck or trailer. And let's connect to that little Aspen. Come on. There we are. You have to blow through your left and right D-pad to get to whatever you want to winch to sometimes. Go ahead and give it some beans. Hit some gas. Pull on our winch. And that will get us to a point where we are unstuck. Shift it into auto. That'll give us a little bit more punch. Get into the grass. That'll give us even more punch. And now we are back in mobile. This is the straight shot I mentioned earlier to that watchtower in the back there. Oops. Boy, these trees get in the way. There. Alright. Clearly you're not going to give me a clean shot at that thing. There it is. We'll get to that watchtower here in just a bit. Also, you'll notice that there's a drowned Chevy truck stuck in the middle of the drowned out farm area. And there is a trailer there that we can come back and get. There is a fuel trailer jammed between two trailers there. And I guess we can't see it, but there is also a truck stuck in the mud way in the back of that swampy area. Let's see, can we see it from here? I don't think we can. No, we can't. This is our farm area. We're going to do a few things here, mainly dragging those trucks to the farm, but there's a trailer that we need to drag to the farm as well. But for now, let's get to the garage. Zoom out so you can see the whole thing. Little diamond indicates where we're headed. It gets smaller and larger depending on your camera view, not depending on your relative location to it. God, this thing is just difficult to control. There we are. Almost smacked it into some poles. And as I mentioned earlier, you can see that we have just about 18 gallons that we've burned. So we are way good on the fuel. Now, you'll see the yellow. We'll get some screen pops here. Just kind of bear with me. You see the yellow on the ground. That is our truck store or trailer store. And I like to park with my trailer at a weird cant. And there's a reason for that. When we're in the trailer store, it's a little bit weird. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to hit square. And we're looking for that little chain right straight up. Come on, finger. Straight up there. See, that has a chain on it, and now our cell has lit up at the top there. So that indicates that we can sell the trailer. Alright? Which we're going to do. Notice it didn't disappear, and it also shifted. Okay? It shifts because this is now showing you what that trailer would look like if you were to buy it. So as we shift over, there's our different trailer options. Okay? We're not going to buy anything on this, so we'll just hit close, and there we go. Take the parking brake off. Go ahead and back up to this green maintenance trailer. We'll get that sold. We really don't need this. Again, leave it in an angle. Go down to your chain link, indicating that that's the trailer that you have attached, and we'll sell it. And then finally, we'll grab this little flatbed lumber log trailer. It does have steel beams on it. We are going to eventually connect up to it. There we go. We'll get an indication when we go to sell this thing here that the cargo will disappear as well, and that's fine. We don't have any use for that right now. Go until you see your trailer store light up. Go down to the chain. There's our indication cargo will be lost, which is fine. And there we go. Now we're all sold off. Now, we're going to leave this curtain side trailer because that's something not only can you not sell, we need to drag that down to the farm here in a bit. But before we do that, we've got a lot of administration stuff that we need to do. So, up ahead of us, that cart that looks like a box of gear sticking out of it, that is an upgrade. It actually is for this truck, which is the Fleet Star. So if we get upgrade, get rid of that little thing, you can see that by hitting the square, it tells us that it's available. I went through that very fast, sorry. It indicates that that upgrade is for the Fleet Star. Because we crossed the threshold of that yellow box, we've completed the get to the garage, and now we're just going to winch onto the Fleet Star, which is out of fuel. As I give it a little gas here and start pulling, you'll see that this thing is out of fuel. When towing a vehicle, the vehicle's engine, if available to run, will start and it'll help you push that vehicle along a little further. But as long as that Fleet Star is in the box, even just a little bit, then don't hit me. There we go. Then we can gain access to it once we get into the garage. And that's what we're going to do now. Okay, so we'll get through all of this as quickly as I possibly can. All right. Just above my head here, right up here, you see customize, truck storage, truck store, and leave garage. Get rid of these sub menus as they come up. Below, you'll see that the global map is blinking, the triangle. You have retain, you have select, and then further, there we go, further that way. There's move up and down in menu. If we go this direction, the mouse pad will get you, or the touchpad will get you to the local map, and R2 is your player profile. Player profile tells you where exactly you are. Typically, only in this configuration are you going to hit L2 or R2. Anywhere else, you're going to hit your D-pad down. Okay, so we get out of that. Oh, where to start? Customize is basically just that. You go through and upgrade things or downgrade things in your vehicle, change add-ons, what have you. Specialty items for each truck, those are all listed in the visuals. Visuals don't have a whole lot of play in the game. You can choose colors, and then you can choose interior stuff or exterior stuff. Okay. Truck storage is where you can store vehicles to use your global map thing here. All right, we're going to do that quite a bit in this next section. Truck store is simply that. That's where you can buy trucks. And then leave garage is, again, simply that. You're leaving the garage, you're going to go through the map and do whatever you're going to do. So with this GMC, we don't need it. It served its purpose, and now it's time to send it on its merry way. So we are going to retain it. Okay, right here with the square. There we are. So I'll hit the square, and it disappears. You're going to need to retain vehicles anytime you're going to travel, again with the global map. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into truck storage. Notice that the customize option is now gray, and the leave garage option is now gray. If it's grayed out, you can't do it. Truck storage being white indicates that we have at least one truck loaded and available to move on to the global areas. All right, so let's get in and see. We're going to have it actually more because I have pre-order trucks. I have, or a pre-order truck. I have a couple downloadable content DLC trucks as well. Now, the GMC is added to that area too. Okay. So once we are in the truck storage area, you can move your D-pad up and down to go through the various different trucks that are stored in there. We are going to sell the GMC, and that's this triangle button right here. So we'll go ahead and do that. That'll get us $31,200. That's great. This KRS 58 Bandit is not a truck that I am a big fan of, so we're going to sell that as well. That gets us $125,400. Not a bad deal. The Con is a truck that we're going to hang on to, and the Navistar is a truck that we're going to hang on to for now. Okay. So once the truck is here, then you can go through and do the customize. You can do the truck store. You can do whatever. Let's go ahead and just go through the customization options with the. Sorry, my green cloth is drifting. Let's go ahead and go through the customization options before we tackle the global map. All right. So to customize the Navistar, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get into the engine, and we're going to select the AZ12 1400 DTA, David Tom Adam. That's going to sell for $24,400. You'll see our money goes down in the upper right-hand corner there. Notice also that the engine that we had in there is now indicating an X1. If you have various levels available in a segment, X1, X2, X3, X4 will show up, okay? Because this is the only other option, X1 is there. Look here, though. You can sell that and get more money out of it. Now, we spent $2,400, or $24,000, excuse me. We're going to sell this for $5,400, I think. Oops, I equipped it, sorry. We're going to sell this for $5,400 or something like $5,700. There we go. All right, so we spent $24,000. We're getting $5,700 back. Every little bit helps, right? There's not much we can do with the gearbox yet. There's not much we can do with it. Or there actually, we can upgrade the suspension on that, so we'll go ahead and do that now. It's always good to raise your vehicles so that you don't get hung up on stuff. We'll sell that previous suspension. Tires. Tires are what they are. Unfortunately, they're a big, nasty, long mess. This is going to be very, very slow as it goes through the different options. That's just the way the game is built. Nothing I can really do about that. We're going to head down to the HDM2. We're going to pick that thing up. Notice in front of the grill, okay, you'll see wheel performance, on-road excellent, off-road average, mud, poor. These are highway vehicle or highway tires. They're not designed for off-roading. They're not designed for screwing around in the mud. So they're not going to perform very well for us, but that's okay. Generally, what you want to do when you're selecting tires of the lesser status, by lesser I mean not all-terrain or not off-road or not chained or not mud, you want to go with the one that looks like it's going to perform best in certain situations. We'll go with the HDMI 1. It's not going to be a whole hill of beans of difference, to be honest with you, but more of a mental thing. And then we'll go through and we'll sell the tires that we had on there initially. I just want a little bit bigger tire on this thing to help lift it even more. As you go through the game, start unlocking more stars, you'll see that different things start to become available, and the tires are a great example of this. These 44-inch ATMD1s are available at rank 9. We have 10,710 stars to go before these things become available to us. It doesn't take that long to get there. The off-roads are available at rank 11, and our changed tires are available at rank 14. Okay? So with our tires wrapped up, let's go ahead and move on to our winch. As soon as you possibly can, which in this instance will be rank 8, you want to get the extended medium. The spare wheel is just there to serve as a repair point. It doesn't repair much. Don't go with it. Just leave it as is. The snorkel is your air filter. Now, our stock options, we have an air filter on either side of the engine compartment. Water, if you get into water that's that high, you got problems, okay? We're going to go ahead and just go with the tall single cap. and we'll sell off our stock air filter setup. And then finally, our frame add-ons, we're very limited here. There's the crane I mentioned that you can use to pull stock off or cargo off the ground. You can pull it onto your trailer, which we'll do a lot of. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of there. What we want to do on this option is just go with the saddle high. It's free, so that didn't cost us anything. That's a good thing. Rear bumper, we don't have a whole lot of options available there. We're going to go with the fog lights, the LED fog lights. The slant sun visor doesn't do us any good. I really like the look of that guy though. Unfortunately, it's not available. So we'll go with our LED fog lights. Sell our stock visor. Oh, we can't. All right, never mind. The front bumper, we're going to go ahead and go with the winch pipe. You would have a winch anyway, but this is just cosmetic. I just like the way that looks. I call this my Mad Max truck because of this option right here. We can go with the side protection. Sell off our factory mesh. There we go. And then finally our exhaust, we're going to leave stock because we don't have any other options there. These options are purely cosmetic. Just go with the one that you think looks the best. We'll go with that guy right there. Color, we're going to make him black because I'm not a big fan of that checkered camo stuff. And then finally we'll do exterior stickers. You can do all kinds of stuff inside the cab, but I don't spend any time in a cab unless I absolutely have to, and I generally try not to. So we will go ahead and ignore the interior stuff. Hood ornament, we'll go with the Raging Bull or Charging Bull. And then the exterior stickers, we'll go with the Route Searcher. To change your sticker options or placement options, just simply push left or right. Choose the one you want and hit X. All right. Oh, I went and tracked on that, didn't I? Oops. There we go. All right. So there is our truck in all of its glory. We will go ahead and foul up our tutorial section. In order to travel, as I mentioned before, to take advantage or to activate this global map icon that the tutorial will now force us to get into, we're going to make sure that we have something retained, and that white indicator on the truck storage means that we have something retained. Now we'll just go to global map. To do that, I'm going to hit the triangle. You can see that we are in Black River. The Kola Peninsula and the Yukon are the DLC items I mentioned earlier. What the game wants us to do is go to Alaska, but these flashing lights make me crazy. So I'm going to L1 over to those, just get them to stop flashing. And we're going to go to Alaska just to quiet this thing down. Once you're on a new map, you want to make sure that you L1 over to the folded map area, okay? And then go to garage, and X again to go to the garage. All right, now that we're here, the game is going to want us to pull a truck out of storage. We only have the one that's stored, so we're going to deploy it. That's our X right there. And then we'll circle, get rid of that. Oops, I retained it again, sorry. Trying to get rid of that silly screen. Notice that the truck storage is now grayed out. We don't have an option to choose anything there, so let's head on out. It's nighttime, so we're going to turn on our lights by holding, there it is, holding the L1 and hitting the circle. Take our parking brake off. All we have to do is just a quick hot lap around the garage, get back in, and then we can head over to another area that we're going to spend some time tinkering. This is a very short entrance to this garage. It's worse when you have a much larger truck. We'll fiddle around with that later. So we will retain our con marshal. Now we're going to go to global map, and that's going to take us to Taymyr. Same process, go to garage, and X to get back in. There's a reason we're headed here. These are the drowned lands of Taymyr or Taymyr in the Russian Federation. Let's see if I move out of the way here. Cement trailers are generally 53 feet long. Yay. It's always good to know that. First documented use of the word truck was 1611. 1611. Good night. Okay. Now, we're going to go to the truck store. Because we are in Russia, we now have access to a vehicle that we need to get to progress a little bit further. Also, we need to use this vehicle to get another vehicle unstuck on this very same map. So let's go ahead and do that. I mentioned there are different types of vehicles. Here is where you see those. We will R1 over to get to our highway area. These are highway trucks, heavy-duty trucks, heavy trucks, off-road, and scout trucks. Scout trucks are smaller, more compact trucks that you go around and do scouting with. You open up areas of the map, hit watchtowers, things like that. Our Chevy is a scout truck. Okay. What we want is the off-road Russian Azov 64-131. We're going to purchase and we're going to deploy it because we're going to need to do a few things to get it roadworthy for the thing that we need to handle right now. So we'll go up to our customize. There's nothing that we can really do in terms of these things. There's nothing available to us to this truck for quite some time. It's got very limited options in terms of the tires even. Reach rank 11 to get to the off-roads, 13 to get to the muds, and 14 to get to the chains. So we'll have to stick with what we've got there. Again, the medium winch is all we have access to here. Spare tire, once again, very useless thing. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the snorkel because, to be honest with you, if water gets up over the top of this cab that far, we're done anyway. Okay. The frame add-ons is where we're headed. What we want to do is put on the maintenance frame add-on. It's going to cost us $5,300, but that's okay. What this does is it gives us 300 repair parts just off the tail end of the vehicle up in the corner there. 300 repair parts. It gives us 5 spare wheels and a fuel tank of 370. I believe that's in liters, not gallons. Could be gallons, but I'm pretty sure that's liters. All right. Once we're here, we're only going to do one thing. We're going to change that front bumper to a axle protection, and everything else we're going to leave as is. We'll go with the colors as I mentioned. What should we make this one? Let's make this one yellow. Yeah, let's make this one yellow. And then the exterior stickers, just if you choose to go with them. Feel free to choose whatever you wish. This guy is now ready to go. You can see that it's nighttime, and nighttime is an absolute nightmare to work with. This has very good lights, but nighttime is a bear. So we're going to go ahead to advance time. Now to do that, I'm going to hit my touchpad, and then I'm going to skip time. I guess that's all right. Gosh dang it. I feel like a weatherman right here with the triangle. Skip time. If you look up near the drowned lands, just over my head, drowned lands, right next to that is a gray box. It says night. We will, jeez. Leave the beaten track to go exploring. Yeah, I know. Boom, 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 boom. Disappear, please. Thank you. So night, it is in military time, so 017 is 12:18 now, a.m. We'll triangle once to get up to where the morning is. And now we're free to leave the garage. Okay? I would love to be able to turn these beacons off because they make me absolutely crazy. I'd love to be able to attach a trailer to this thing and get this thing done in one shot. Unfortunately, it will not allow us to put another repair trailer on the back of this. So this run is going to take us to 2 tries to get going. So let me back up again, put the brake on, go into the trailer store. As you can see, to get the flatbed semi-trailer on this thing, we need to have the low saddle roof on there instead of the repair setup that we have. The fuel trailer, because of the fact that we have this maintenance trailer, or this maintenance attachment on, we can't attach anything to it. And the one that I would love to get on the back of this as well is this guy and make it a double, but it will not allow us to do that because that thing hangs off the back so far. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. In terms of where we're headed, you can map out your direction by moving on the map. And let's see, where are you? I guess. Oh, there we are. So we have waypoints. Good God. Right here, if you hit R2, you'll add a destination point. And if you hit L2, you'll delete a destination point. So, to show you where we're headed, we're going to leave the garage and add a waypoint there, and add a waypoint here, and here. Make our way around the bend, and then we're headed to right there. Zooming in with the left stick up, zooming out, or right stick up, zooming out with the right stick down. We're headed to this guy right there. We need to pull him out. That is the Taiga. That is a very good truck. There is no be-all, end-all. One truck is the greatest thing for everything, unfortunately. There are combinations of trucks that work very well. The Taiga is one that fits that combination very, very well as doing some solo stuff. So we're going to go after it. We're going to ignore these tasks for the moment. I'm going to try to recover vehicles only when it makes the most sense to do it, and when I have literally no other option. I'm going to try to drive around and do the best I can without any kind of screw-ups, but sometimes you just don't have a choice. So this will be a scenario where it makes the most sense to do a recovery, and once we get to that point, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This road forks. We're just going to continue on our path. As you saw, the blue indicator disappeared as we drove near it. Here's our big go around the bend kind of thing. This truck will inevitably get stuck right through here because this is a humongous mud patch. We'll try to get up on the grass. Should make things a lot easier. And just there, you can see the yellow box. And now we can see the truck. That is the Taiga. You have two options. You can try to drag the Taiga out of this mess, or you can do what we're going to do, which is drive into the box, accept the task, repair everything that we can. There we are. So if we go into our options, again, D-pad up. There we are. Sorry, my green screen is making my controller wig out because I put the green light on it. Anyway, let's go down to refuel. You're going to choose a source, which is our maintenance frame add-on, and then we're going to R2 to get over to the Taiga, but I think I have to accept that first. Hold on, please. Gosh darn it. Show task, accept. There. Okay. Now let's repair or refuel. There's our Taiga chosen. We're going to change from the maintenance from the Azov's main tank to the maintenance frame add-on. You can choose to fuel the Azov, or you can fuel the Taiga. We need to fuel the Taiga. So it now has max fuel. I don't know why it keeps dropping down 1 gallon. Now we need to go to the repair, and that will exhaust all of the repairs. So our maintenance frame add-on, and then the Taiga, you can see that the Azov is completely good to go. Everything above, oh god, everything here is white because the Azov is in good order, whereas the Taiga is not. You can tell that by the orange. So we'll just repair everything we can. We got everything repaired except for the suspension and the gearbox. And as you can see, our maintenance frame add-on is exhausted now. So this is where we're going to recover. Recovery takes you all the way back to the garage because we're not that far off. It just makes more sense to recover and then drive back out and finish the repair job. The task itself, I didn't spend a lot of time on that, but the task itself is basically repair this thing to 100%, refuel it to 100%, and then the truck is yours. So that's why we're doing what we're doing. That fog is really thick now. I'm not going to bother mapping out a route because we already know the route. Get into the grass so I can avoid some of this mud. Yeah, this is what I was mentioning earlier about the lights not really... Come on, baby. The light's not really helping in certain areas, in certain conditions. The fog is just eating up our headlights, so... This is our cab view. I hit the right stick down, the R3. Our cab view, like I say, I don't spend a lot of time messing around with this, mainly because it'll make you sick. All the bouncing around and stuff, oh my god. Now, looks like it's starting to rain. Rain is just cosmetic. It will not affect the performance of the vehicle one way or the other. It won't affect the roads. It just is what it is. Something you gotta deal with. Visually. Only visual. Why did I go that far? Right. I'm in the grass, so it doesn't really matter. It'll just help us. Alright. Now we're here. So, Alexander, the local inventor, decided to try and increase speed and efficiency of his truck with some simple modifications. Upon testing it, he plowed off the road and blew the engine. Would you mind taking a look? Nah. I want this truck bad, so yeah, I don't mind at all. So we'll go back into our repair phase in all. And as you can see, we now have 0 available on our maintenance add-on. There's still there should have been. Oh, there we are. The suspension needs another 30. So unfortunately, one more truck or one more trip. But not a big deal. Cover one last time. Lights just make absolutely no difference whatsoever. Turn off these beacons. Not a fan of the beacon lights. A little bit more distracting than they need to be, really. Whoops. Took a little vehicle damage there. I was busy looking up at my screen above this and wasn't paying attention to the road, man. Gotta pay attention to the road. Chuck will not take over for you if you're being stupid. Plus, after doing this 3 times now, ugh, mind is beginning to wander a little. Looks like the fog is trying to break, but the rain is still continuing. Let's get up the grass. Got a downhill run, so then, oh god. Whoa, that got a little tippy. As I say, on a downhill run, the mud shouldn't affect us a whole lot. It will affect the truck, but boy, that got really tippy there for a second. Holy cow, I'm glad we're done with this. That would have been very irritating being where we were and having to recover. Oh, that would have been very irritating. Alright. One last repair. And I'm pretty sure we need to refuel it. There we go. Alright. Good news is we can just recover. Go to customize. We're going to put a low saddle on this one. Then we're going to retain it. And we'll go back to our map. Touchpad. Go to our Taiga. Let's get rid of those points. Just hold your L2, it wipes them all out for you. It's nice and easy. That guy right there. Alright, let's go to the Taiga. We can now recover that. Alright. And we can now customize it. So, again, not very many options available to you because these things need to be unlocked throughout Russia. We are just getting our feet wet. But one thing we are going to do is put all-terrain tires on it. Back and do that. Winch not available. Spare wheel is pointless. It's only 1 point of repair. Snorkel. Short round cap. I would love to have that one, but unfortunately we don't. Now, as far as the frame add-ons go, let's go with the sideboard bed. Visuals, there's a whole lot we can do on these. Oops. Put eyebrows on them. Rooftop, we definitely want to get the roof fog lights on. That helps at night, specifically. Front bumper, oh, I always go with the reinforced, and I just leave it on the reinforced. I think that looks cool. Oh, we gotta sell the stock one. Miscellaneous, there's a whole lot on there that I want to mess with. Exhaust, heat shielded. That this operates a lot like that Navistar, where the exhaust gets in the way of your visuals. So I'm just going to leave the exhaust down where it is, which is down below. I'll show you that. There's your stock, and our exhaust is down there. Okay, I will just leave that as is. Now rims, there's only 2 options. I'll go with the studded. Colors, we can go with this DLC sticker, whatever the hell they call it. I'm going to go with the black. I think that looks really nice on this particular truck. And we'll go with our usual exterior. Route searcher on the door. on the opposite door. Okay, and our bowl. All right, now we can retain. We're going to go to our global map right here. We're going to go back to Michigan. And we're going to go down to the garage because now it's time to deploy our vehicles. And that is going to wrap things up for this particular episode. This has been the first hour on Black River. Primarily, we did move to Taymyr. We did move to Alaska because the tutorial forced us to. But now we're getting to a point where we can finally start to play this game. There's one more purchase we got to make. That's a scout truck. We're going to do that on the next episode. We're also going to go through and do some upgrades on our vehicles that we have access to. That's going to involve a trip up to Alaska, which our new con, the DLC, the con Marshall, is going to help out with quite a bit. So stick with me. We will get to a point where we're starting to pull down contracts. But I appreciate you watching on this one for now. The next one should be out in the next day or so. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Let me get this transitioned over really quick. Leave them down in the comments below. I love having comments. I love answering questions. I love having conversations about this stuff. I don't know everything, but I know a bunch. Okay? So hope you enjoy the game. Hope you enjoy the series. We're going to continue this until we get all the way done and everything's all completed, okay? Thanks again for watching. You guys have a great whatever you're going to have.